Hello everyone, welcome to my shop. This is going to be a pretty quick video on how to put new seals and dust boots in a Brembo caliper. I'm going to be doing this with the rear caliper of my 350Z, but this process should be the same on any Brembo from any vehicle. Pretty simple, doesn't require any real specialty tools, but it does help a lot to have access to compressed air in a blowgun. We'll go over that here in a minute, but as I said, same process for any Brembo caliper out there, so we're going to move over to the bench and go ahead and get started. So starting out with a vehicle with a caliper already off the vehicle, you will need a rebuild kit. Sometimes you have to buy the seals and dust boots and things separately. Nissan, at least in my case, offers a kit that includes new seals, new dust boots, and even includes new covers for my bleed screws. The first thing you actually want to do is take a small container with some fresh brake fluid in it, and you're going to want to actually take the seals that you're going to be installing and just put them in the brake fluid to soak and just make sure they get covered. Also, before we get started, now would be a good time to clean up your calipers if they've got a lot of brake dust and stuff built up on them. This is one of these things where being really clean is going to be your friend, so I've already cleaned mine up. The first step in disassembly for the caliper is going to actually be to remove the dust seals. I can't really show it, I'm not going to be able to get a good picture of it, but there is a small notch on the top side of both dust seals in the body of the caliper. You can take a straight pick or a very small flathead screwdriver and wedge it in and pry down and out. Be careful as it starts to come out to not dig into the back, or you do risk scratching the piston on the back side. Once you've got it part way out, it's just a matter of getting your fingers behind it and pulling it the rest of the way out, working around, and you can discard it. Going to do the same thing on the other side. With the dust boots off, the next step is we need to actually get these pistons to pop out. You've got a couple of different options. If you haven't already pushed them all the way back in like I did, there is a lip in here. You could take two like flathead screwdrivers, wedge them in on both sides and pry outward, or small pry bars. I've seen people go in with a internal snap ring plier and grab in there and spread out. You do risk damaging your piston by doing that. So the easiest way to do this is to actually take a blowgun, ideally with a little rubber tip on it, and you can put it in the end and put some air pressure to it. Before doing that though, you do need to be very, very careful. This is a really good time to have some eye protection on, and you do need to put something between the pistons here, because otherwise you risk popping one out and not the other one. I'm going to start out with just my piston spreader here, and I'm literally just going to hit just quick burst of air. And now both pistons have started to come out. I'm going to actually I'm just going to stack some other random pieces of metal and stuff in here. Watch your fingers doing this, because as you do this, it does, depending on how much air pressure you've got, put a lot of pressure on this. You do have to kind of watch. I am primarily popping one side out, which is not really what I want to do. I really want to get the other side out further, so I'm going to actually push this side in a little bit more and try again to get more of the other side out. Now, after some fun with the air gun, I've been able to get both pistons freed up. It took a little bit of work because one was wanting to free up more than the other. At this point, I'm just removing the two pistons and setting them aside. I'll work on cleaning them up later. Inside, there is a rubber seal that we're going to be replacing. You need to go in with a small metal pick, being careful not to scratch the bore of your cylinder wall here, so just be very careful as you try and peel this out. So there's the first seal out. The same thing on the other side. Boots. Now I'm going to go ahead and just clean up these pistons inside and out. If they're really dirty, you may want to use some brake cleaner. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe these down. Make sure to get in the groove where the new dust boot will be, just so that you don't get anything in there that might tear up the new boot. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to briefly and quickly wipe out the inside here, just to make sure that I don't have any debris inside the caliper. Now I've got the new seals that have been soaking in brand new clean brake fluid. I'm going to go ahead and install these back into the groove that I just removed the old seals out of. Kind of just have to feel it in there. The biggest thing to make sure of is that once it does pop into the groove, you need to make sure that it is not twisted in any way. You can kind of run your finger around it and visually inspect to make sure that there are no because it's a square section and it might twist. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and dab a little bit of brake fluid on the new dust seal, just to kind of help lubricate it before we assemble it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on the inside and the outside. Once again, just trying to make sure that no risk of tear or damage to this. I'm going to go ahead and slide it onto the piston. Once I get it on, I'm actually going to twist it and just kind of make sure that it is fully in the groove and engaged. I am also going to just put a little bit of brake fluid on the piston. To install the new piston, you just need to make sure that it is nice and perpendicular to the bore. If it doesn't, just slide in up to the seal. You're not in straight. And then it's just a matter of pushing it in. Sometimes it helps to push the caliper so that you can push down on it. When you've got the piston pretty much all the way in, you can run your finger around and just press the dust boot in. So it doesn't require any tooling. I'm literally just pressing my thumbs around to make sure that that dust boot is fully seated. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the other seal and do the same thing on the other side. And so that's it for the basic caliper rebuild, at least for like a standard Brembo. As I said, doesn't require any real specialty tools. It is helpful to have a blowgun, but watch your fingers if you're using the blowgun. If this was a 4 or 6 piston Brembo, the only thing that you really have to pay attention to is the pistons are typically different sizes, so you just need to make sure that you put the proper seal and proper dust boot and the proper piston, and you match all that stuff up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, please like and subscribe. I'm going to get this back on the car and continue getting this car ready for the racing season. Thanks for watching.